has anyone else noticed that the amount of jobs that are posted doesn't equate to the amount of people who have been searching for jobs for X amount of months, possibly a year? I don't understand, like, how, for me specifically, I have to find jobs that pay a certain amount because I have kids, and I know there's some people on here that say, you know, some money is better than no money, and I totally agree. But at the same time, I'm just like, okay, well, at what cost? Because there is a point where you do have to sacrifice. And if I'm going to sacrifice my time with my kids, or if I'm going to sacrifice, you know, the money that I get, I want the job to be a job that I like working at. I want it to be a job that I enjoy working, you know, at or for. And so it just kind of, for me, it leaves me in a predicament of, yeah, I know there's places around me like Trader Joe's or like, you know, Carl's Jr. There's nothing wrong with working at these establishments. However, is it going to be enough for me to take care of me and my kids? Probably not. Is it also going to take away time from me spending with my kids? Most definitely. And I have a 6-month-old that I have to think about. So it's so frustrating because it just, you know, puts me in a situation where I'm actively applying for these jobs, and part of my mindset and my thinking is, okay, well, if I'm not getting any callbacks from these jobs that I'm applying for, then why not just start your own business, micro business, and just pitch to them your services? You'd be able to work from home. You'd be able to send things remotely. If you need to go into their office and, you know, do an audit or whatever the case might be, you'd be able to schedule that time. You wouldn't be tied down to a traditional 9 to 5. And I'm starting to come to terms with the fact that maybe a 9 to 5 isn't suitable for me. Maybe I need to be thinking along the lines of, okay, how can I create income remotely, or even by just creating my own business, or just even doing my own thing? It's a little difficult. Anyways, there's a situation that just happened, and there's cops behind me, and the maintenance is talking to the cop right behind my car. And so I'm not trying to be nosy, but anyways, so that's where I'm at. And I know that in this economy, there's a lot of people that are going through the same, you know, struggles and challenges of finding stable work, number one, and finding work that pays enough to survive in this economy. I live in Silicon Valley, okay? And so the rents are ridiculous. And thankfully, you know, there are resources out there for, you know, single moms. And so that's always nice, but I still have to keep looking for, you know, permanent work, long-term work where I'm gonna be paid enough to where I can take care of my kids and not have to depend on their dads or whatever the case might be. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating because I'm just like, ugh, I just prefer to work from home. I prefer to, you know, build my own business and to just market myself in that way. If I could, I would do YouTube full-time. And I've seen other creators that are like, oh, you know, I lost my job and now I'm doing YouTube full-time. And I feel like maybe that might be in my destiny, no pun intended, but maybe it might be, because I'm a stay-at-home mom right now to my 6-month-old, and I do have 3 other children, and school's going to be starting in August, so I'm just trying to kind of coordinate efficiently. Because once my kids go back to school, school gets out at 2:30. And so I have to be available to pick them up. And I also have to be available to drop them off at school at 8 o'clock in the morning. So ideally, realistically, a 9 to 5 just will not be ideal for me. And so I'm ranting and I'm trying to brainstorm on here with you all, because I know that there's others going through this. I know that there's others going through the exact same thing that I'm going through. And, you know, in Silicon Valley, it's like most people either have roommates or they have a relationship, a partner that they live with, or, you know, they're on a subsidized program, or, you know, they move outside of the area. And I can't move. I have kids, number one. My situation's a little complex because yes, I have more than one child. I have 4, and there's just legalities. But aside from that, it's, you know, more so of like, I shouldn't have to depend on the government to survive. I should be able to, you know, apply for these jobs that I'm well enough qualified for. I have, you know, 15 years of skill set that is not being utilized. So I just feel like at this point in time, I'm really just leaning towards like, I need to just start my own services, start my own remote services. And it's hard to pinpoint what will bring me, like what I can do without getting bored, because I have a tendency of like, okay, I'm going to try making sourdough. I tried sourdough for a month. And it's so tedious and it's so consistent, and I don't mind that. But when you run into like walls of like your sourdough going bad, you're just kind of like, ugh, now I got to start the sourdough process all over again. And so here I am on my 3rd attempt of sourdough, and it has gone bad. And, you know, when you run into situations like that, it's just kind of like, okay, I don't want to do sourdough anymore. And you know what, to be honest, it made me gain so much weight. You see my face, like, yeah, I just had a baby 5 months ago, but like I literally gained weight in that period of time of making sourdough. I mean, I didn't make sourdough bread, but I made sourdough bagels. I made sourdough cinnamon rolls. You know, I was actively baking. And so I just figure maybe sourdough is not the route for me to take. It's nice to know. It's nice to have that skill set of like, oh, I can, you know, create a sourdough starter and just take care of it and make stuff with it. But to have that as a full-time business, I don't think I can. And shout out to the ones that are able to do that, because it is a process. But also, I've thought about like, okay, I come from a customer service background, and when I tell you the internal audits that I do, and I don't know if anyone else does this, let me know in the comments, but when I go to businesses, stores, I check to see how their customer service is, how my entire experience is from start to finish. And I pay attention to those type of things. And, you know, if I don't have a necessarily good experience, or if an employee was like really rude to me, I take note of that. And I'm just like, I should reach out to like the VP of this company and write them like an audit of like how my experience went. And, you know, I did create a report. It was for a local community store. I'm not going to mention no names, but I go there a lot. And this one in particular in Silicon Valley is known for being an elevated community store, aka a loft. And so a lot of the items there are, you know, their name brand. And so you're paying a bit more. And you would think that there would be the experience to match with the elevated loft and the prices and all of that. So long story short, my experience was not good at all. And you know, I did write a report. Did I send it to the VP? No, I was about to. And then something happened. And I was just like, okay, well, I'll hold on to this. I think I just started to lose like my motivation and my momentum. I think a lot of the times fear kind of creeps in to where it's like, what if they don't reply? Like, I literally went through all the steps. I contacted the main HR headquarters and I got the VP's email address. Okay. I got her email address, and literally all I have to do is just send her the report. But I think a lot of times I'm just kind of like, okay, like realistically, would they even want my services? Would they even want my services? And I know that's kind of like a lack mindset that also goes into like a fear mindset. So I know, you know, in my situation, particularly where I'm looking for jobs and I'm just like, oh, let me just create a business and then my sourdough. I know the root cause of all of these transitions and all of the wishy-washy and, oh, let me do this. No, I don't want to do that. Let me do this. I know it's all of a result of like a lack mindset. And so, yeah, that's something that I really need to work on. And I don't want to make excuses for myself, but, you know, single mom of 4 kids with, you know, one of them is a 6-month-old, and just, you know, my internal relationship world is not the best. And when I mean internal relationship world, I don't mean like within myself. I mean like my support systems. It's not the best, but at the end of the day, I was explaining to my oldest son last night, at the end of the day, we just have to take care of ourselves first, and then the circle immediately around us. And so for me specifically, that translates to taking care of myself and my well-being, but also taking care of my kids and their well-being. And the outer layer of that comes last. So it's just interesting because when we're in these situations, it kind of, like for me personally, I just look at all angles like, okay, yeah, I'm so undecided on what I want to do. I'm so indecisive on what I want to do and how I want to do it. And, you know, what I do know is that I need income. What I do know is that I need income, and I don't have income. I have kids. So that's where I'm at right now, but we are going to turn all of this around, and we're just, you know, gonna take it day by day. I heard another YouTuber on here say, take it hour by hour if you need to, and that's exactly what I plan on doing. So be mindful. Be mindful of what we are in control of and what we aren't in control of. And also just take care of your mental health. Applying for jobs full-time, that's a full-time job in itself. And if you're a mom with kids, applying for jobs full-time and then also being a mom to your kids full-time, it's a lot. So it's okay to just take a moment to take care of yourself, go for a walk, you know, do things that bring you joy or that kind of take the pressure off and just let you breathe. You know, we got this. Take it day by day, take it hour by hour. Just know that you're not alone. And yeah. So leave a comment, drop a comment. Let me know like how your journey is going with, you know, searching for jobs, or if you're on the path to starting your own business. Like, let me know how that's going. Or if you went a different route and just started creating content, like let me know what kind of content, because that's something I'm really considering doing. I love to talk, I love to yap, and you know, I do a lot of reflective yapping, but then I also do some like real talk, and this is real talk. Let me know in the comments, like if you've started your own YouTube journey, content creation, how is that going? Is it possible? I know all things are possible, but just like, let me know your guys' experiences, the journeys that you're on. We got this. So until next time, y'all have a good day. Thanks for joining me and being here, listening to me rant and just kind of let my thoughts unflow. But we got this.